Hello, my fellow Westchester County residents and countrymen and women. My name is Sebastiano Cornelio, and I'm here on YouTube to discuss the gross injustices we have been forced to bear regarding the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution by certain licensing officers who are judges and also certain politicians. New York State, for as long as I can remember, has always been a may issue state, which means just that. A licensing officer may, at his or her discretion, issue a pistol permit and may also revoke it at any point in time for just about any reason under the sun because of a clause that is in place called arbitrary discretion. Arbitrary discretion can mean virtually any reason under the sun. This may seem far-fetched, but it's true. Not too long ago, Judge Susan CACACE'S revoked, not suspended, but revoked, a Westchester County resident's pistol permit, which he had for over 20 years without incident, for a potential misdemeanor crime that he was acquitted of. The alleged crime involved nothing more than nude photos of an ex-girlfriend who worked for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Would you believe that the LA Sheriff's Department came out here for the arrest? 2 of them? One would think that the LA Sheriff's Department would have more pressing issues than to deal with a secretary who has nothing more to do with her time than to send out nude pictures and videos online at random. Apparently not. There were no acts or threats of violence of any kind. No acts or threats of violence of any kind. Yet Judge Susan CACACE'S, who was in her mid-40s, chose to permanently revoke his license. Furthermore, Judge Susan CACACE'S refused to answer one single question that was asked of her by the pistol permit holder, let alone one single letter. Recently, the same pistol permit holder reapplied and was denied any pistol permit, including home premises, by Judge Jeffrey Cohen. He too did not like to answer any questions. However, Judge Cohen did write back on occasion, and his reply was always simply, I stand by my decision, nothing more, nothing less. If Westchester County did not have that arbitrary discretion clause, this would never have happened. Let's put things into proper perspective here. Judges work for us, citizens of this county. They are in place to make sure our rights are not violated and to uphold the Constitution of the United States and all its amendments, including the Second Amendment. That, and because they are obligated to do the right thing, is why they are given the prefix honorable. This arbitrary discretion clause is nothing more than a dagger that is thrust deep into the heart of the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. As we all know, Westchester County will not issue a full carry first time around, supposedly. However, once again, not too long ago, a 20-year-old boy who just turned into a 21-year-old man was granted a full carry first time around. Why is that? This was brought out last year at Westchester County Firearm Owners Association's meeting. Yet you or I have to accept the restrictions of target shooting and hunting on our permits. If you tell the Pistol Permits Department of Public Safety that you want a full carry first time around, they look at you like you have 3 heads. They ask you, are you a retired police officer? Are you a retired correction officer? Are you a retired Peace Corps officer? Then you can't get one. But in fact, you can. You just have to give a reason. If you read the application, you'll see there is a spot for a full carry permit first time around. You just have to give the reasons why you're asking for a full carry. It doesn't mean you'll get it, but chances are highly unlikely you would get a full carry first time around. Once your restricted permit, you can pay. Once you have your restricted permit, you can pay the Department of Public Safety $3 for an amendment form, simple amendment form, 2 pages long, and once again, you just give your reasons. From there, it's a toss of the dice. I know personally of an individual that had his permit for over 20 years, and the Honorable Judge Barbara Zambelli removed the restrictions off his permit, and now it's a full carry. You can apply for an amendment, I believe, every 6 months. The Honorable Barbara Judge Zambelli, from what I've heard, has always done the just and honorable thing when it comes to pistol permit matters. This is Westchester County, and this is how a may issue state works. Dutchess County, which we know is 2 counties north of here, grants virtually all full carries to its residents. And guess what? They can take their full carry permits and come into Westchester County and carry concealed, and they're perfectly legal. That's the way it is. So Dutchess County residents, have that freedom, and we that live here and pay our taxes here, we don't have that freedom. This is Westchester County, and does that make any sense? Under God's eyes, we are born into this world as equals, we go through this life as equals, and we die in this world as equals. My life is not worth more, nor is more valuable than yours, and a prominent New York City developer's life is certainly not worth more than your life because of his social status and wealth. But because of arbitrary discretion, once again, you cannot go to Court of Appeals in a timely fashion and expect to win, because all the licensing officer has to do is bring up that infamous clause, arbitrary discretion, and the game is over. Because of this, and judges like Susan CACACE'S and Jeffrey Cohen, and sadly politicians like Senator Charles Schumer, who was one of the biggest anti-gun proponents, and sadly Kristen Hildebrand, whose colors have changed since she got into office, I became a life member of the NRA. Previously I looked at them as just another gun organization, but they are far, far more than just a gun organization. They have opened my eyes wide open. If the National Rifle Association were not around, chances are we would not have the Second Amendment that we enjoy today outside of New York State. If the NRA, the NRA is a very powerful organization, and they need our support. Back in July, an amendment proposed by Senators John Thune and David Vitter, both Republicans, entitled the Thune-Vitter Amendment, was introduced and voted on, which would have created a national carry law where you would have been able to carry concealed in all 50 states. It fell short, just 2 votes. We had 58 and we needed 60. The Second Amendment does not end at the border of any one state. We have a right to protect ourselves in any state. It shouldn't be restricted to just one particular state or a few states. This arbitrary clause must be abolished from New York State and Westchester County's dictatorial laws. There's no doubt about it. This all came about, this Thune-Vitter bill, because of concerned politicians and the efforts of the NRA. I strongly urge you once again to support them in any way you can if you value that right. Don't assume someone else will pick up the slack. We have to contribute and do our part if we are to keep and bear arms in the future. We need to vote and to be united. The old saying still remains true today. There is strength in numbers. And with those numbers, our voices will be heard, and we will have the ability to oust those that do not uphold the Constitution and replace them with those that do. Arbitrary discretion must be stripped away from our laws. All that is relevant is that an individual is law-abiding, has no felony convictions or domestic misdemeanor convictions, or been held against his or her will in a mental institution. Time is short here. Please look for future clips on YouTube with the next coming weeks. God bless, and look for me soon.